what's up, pals? It's your random pal here, and I'm coming to you from the Street Rod Nationals 2022 in Louisville, Kentucky. And there's cars everywhere. It's an event that brings about 10,000 cars to this particular city. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I've got a video of the 2019 Street Rod Nationals and the 2021 Street Rod Nationals, and I got a lot of coverage and goofy stuff on there. Now in this video, I want to do something different than my previous videos. I want to do like a countdown of most random cars at the show, and there's a lot of variety out here. It's hard to choose, but you'll see my picks and you probably agree with me. These cars at the Street Rod Nationals are very, very random. So sit back and enjoy the show. Now GTOs aren't a random ride at a street rod car show, but this particular model year, 1973, is very uncommon. Most people stop collecting them after 72, so anything after that is pretty rare to be seen. This particular example features a 400 cubic inch V8 Pontiac motor, and it appears to be mostly stock, mostly original. I don't really see any custom stuff on it. It's very nicely displayed, and dig that factory collar with the stripe. That stripe really sets it off. And hey, look, there's Tony the Tiger saying it's a great car. Check out the size of this little beauty. A little miniature street rod, how cool. You'd definitely be the coolest kid in town with this little Roadster. And check out that two-tone classic paint job on the street rod. Hey, and there's a little tribute to Garfield's friend, Odie. Plus, check out all the stickers from the shows it's been at. And the driver's name is Ryan. Ryan, you got a really slick ride. Some people like to match clothes. Then there's those of us that like to match their rides. Check out this cool combination. A little mini street rod, a car, and this nice looking late 1940s Salisbury moped with the third wheel on it. You either sit on it or you can get a cold one out of the ice chest. This color reminds me of a creamsicle, and it makes me hungry for one as well. Featuring a V8 engine with dual quads dripping through a Y-end intake manifold, this Ford 1935 fire truck will get you to the scene of a fire real fast. And check out that interior. Nice custom wheel, nice custom seats. It even has a little brass bell under the dash to let people know you're on your way. And check out that bed. You can fit a whole crew in that thing. This truck is sure to get you to the scene of a fire in a hurry. What we have here? Well, wait. Alright, so what we have here is a 1948 Ford F6 truck. Commercial grade. This is one 2-ton behemoth. This would make one nice rig to tow your toys around in. As you can see, it's got the fifth wheel. You can hook a nice big trailer up to it. It's got a lot of nice updates to it. The paint is awesome on it, and it's got a lot of little details here and there. Chrome wheels shine. The chrome exhaust stacks tower over the truck, and I imagine set off a few environmentalists. Check out that cool graphic on the side of the truck. It reads "Follow the Sun Express." I think I'm going to need some sunglasses now to handle all this shine coming off the truck, and somebody's going to have to spend a lot of money filling that gas tank up. No, this isn't the truck from the video game Twisted Metal. And maybe it was a bread truck at one time, but this truck right here is a 1968 International Harvester Metromite. Now you could haul a lot of bread out of this boxy box truck, but this particular box truck here is used to promote the Quads Rod and Custom out of LaGrange, Kentucky, and I bet it's hauled its fair share of car parts as well. Peekaboo! Check out that hood cutout on this 1937 GMC General Motors crew cab truck. Ain't that a mouthful? And I dig the little updates on it, the LED headlights. And this sucker is long. This is like a stretched limousine of a truck. The red and black paint scheme on this truck is very nicely done. It's not too wild, it's just right on this truck. It has that feel to it. Nice little custom touches, bumpers, and look at that bed. You could almost fit a British sports car in the back of that bed. Maybe you could, but this shows how big and long this truck is. And look at those exhaust stacks. I've never seen one like in between the doors. Usually you see them on the back. And check out the size comparison compared to that 60s Corvette. Oh, look! Some Chevy Corvettes had a baby. Actually, this has nothing to do with Chevy. Well, kind of does. See, this is an Opel GT 1971, and GM had a thing with Opel, a European car company, and they sold them through Buick dealerships, and so they kind of related to the Corvette, but not really. This example here has some nice custom touches. I just really love the carbon fiber accents. Da-da-da-da! Now this is what Captain America should be driving. A 1964 Buick Skylark tuned by Nailhead Ed. Now these classic Buick Skylarks are not a common sight these days. This is one of the more off-the-radar type of cars for the collector. But it's a very neat car from the muscle car era, or the beginnings of the muscle car era, I should say. As you can see, this particular example is Hearst equipped. The patriotic paint scheme on this car really sets it off, and that roll bar behind the driver's seat means it's ready for some real serious action. So let's take a look inside. Wow, a green interior on a white car. That's something different. It does look kind of vintage. It's very worn. And check out those mirrors, the little Buick insignia on them. And his Krager wheels shine bright on this patriotic American beauty. Ah, the Gran Torino. Not so random until you see that this Gran Torino is actually a station wagon. Yes, this is a 1972 Gran Torino Squire, complete with the wood grain side paneling. And look, check out those mirrors. They got Ford on the mirrors. I like that. It's nice detail. And this is a very long car. It's got a roof rack. You can haul a lot of stuff around in this thing. A lot of nice details on it. Very clean and very mean. I wonder if Clint Eastwood would love to have this one. Ah, here we have the family Dragon Wagon, a 1986 Oldsmobile custom cruiser, complete with that 1980s wood trim. Today, station wagons themselves are rather uncommon, but back in the 70s and 80s, these were the SUVs and soccer mom vehicles of their day. And as you can see, this one was on Hot Rod Power Tour, probably hauling the family around. Now these cars make good sleeper cars, and not only can you sleep a bunch of people in them, but they also aren't very menacing to look at. I wonder what is under the hood of this custom cruiser. Wow, just wow. A 1980 Ford Pinto Wagon. A true survivor that has not blown up, literally, from the exploding gas tanks. I really dig the graphics that reek of the 1980s. Also, the rear louvers and porthole windows, which remind me of the 1970s vans. So kind of a good combination mixture of 80s and 70s, which 80 was the last year the Ford Pinto was made. I can almost see some fish in that porthole window. Everybody's heard of a Chevelle, but how many people have heard of a Chevelle Laguna S3? They only made them for a few years, between 73 to 76. They were NASCAR inspired. This particular example is of the 1976 vintage. My mom used to have a 1973 Chevelle Laguna. It was midnight blue, had a white Cordoba top, and it was a car I rode to elementary school in as a kid. Coming in low, slow, and very wide. This land barge of a car is a 1975 Chevy Impala. Still in primer and needing some finishing work, this car sends off all those classic lowrider vibes. On the inside, there's plenty of room for those secret lovers to catch a ride along in this ride. Well, it's not a car, it's a thing. You might call it a thingy, a thingamajigger, but it's not a whatchamacallit. And here we have 174 VW Volkswagen thing and two 1973 things. And these vehicles definitely stand out in the crowd. And since all three of these Volkswagen things were together, they all get my most random car award at the show. These little cars are something else. They're one of the oddest cars that Volkswagen produced, I would have to say. If I had to pick the most random thing out of the trio of things, it would be the bad purple thing. I really like the custom touches to it. It just stands out all that much more. And here we have a late 1950s Chevy Viking 60 pickup truck. And looks like it's been a little stitched together. It's got some pretty cool patina on it that was purposely done. And it's just a big, huge truck. Originally a work truck, I'm sure. And look under the hood, a sacrilegious abomination, a Dodge engine in a Chevy pickup truck. Wow, look at that interior, man. It's rusty, crusty. Well, I hope Greta Thunberg isn't watching this video, because with all the exhaust that comes out of that pickup truck, she'd be saying, "How dare you?" Now this truck right here is a real deal dually. Yes, that's right, it takes up about 2 parking spots. And as you can see, this truck has come a long way. A 57 Chevy isn't random at a street rod show, but a Suzuki Samurai sure is. And this little guy here, he showed up at the show. He's a little bit rusty, a little rough around the edges, but this Samurai warrior is still holding up. Now these little Suzuki Samurais are narrow, high-profile vehicles, and they've had a reputation for flipping over. But as you can see, this one still looks pretty structurally intact. When you go to a street rod event, you expect to see classic American cars and muscle cars. This is none of them. So this is why this little Suzuki Samurai gets my award for most random vehicle. So in the comments below, let me know your thoughts on what car you think was the most random car that I featured. Or if you attended the show, let me know what car you think was the most random car that maybe I didn't feature. So I'd love to hear from you, and if you enjoy my content, like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching. Enjoy.
So if you never want to miss another random car video, remember, ring that bell.